Hello everyone, JustLoveJustLight here. I hope you're all having a beautiful Tuesday so far. This is technically going to be podcast number 2 now. If you haven't heard the exciting news, I'm now on Spotify. I hope to be on iTunes by the end of the week, so we'll see what happens, but I'm just really, really excited about that. Excited to be more mobile, but with that, I also figured it'd be good to kind of just start fresh. I feel like last week's episode was good. I felt really good. And so I just want to start there, right? And we'll move forward from here. But the old ones are still going to be on YouTube. I'm going to do my best to get these on YouTube now. They obviously take a lot longer to upload onto there than just a, media file, than a voice file. So just, I'm going to try my best. I feel like I will. But yeah, so the old ones are going to be on there. So if you want to listen to those, check them out. But it's just, I'm excited for this new little chapter, right? The universe always unfolds things quite nicely when we just, kind of trust in it. But yeah, so I hope you're all having a great day. I got done with my morning routine, the usual yoga. I did a ton of sun salutations today. And those are probably, those are actually probably my favorite thing to do when I do yoga. I don't know, there's this gratitude that kind of comes pouring out, and it feels really good. And to me, one of my favorite things is just to have gratitude. So, so I did a bunch of those today, and then also, just the normal, some stretching and things like that. And then did my meditation, and yeah, I'm feeling really, really good. But I have a few notes here about some stuff I wanted to talk about today. And this is all so great. And it's something I've actually been talking to some of my friends about. So I felt like, and my loved ones. So I feel like definitely something I kind of wanted to bring to light today. And that is divine timing, right? Trusting that everything that is happening is divine and it's at the right time, which we'll get deeper into that because I know that's a little bit hard to accept sometimes. And then just trusting our inspired action and trusting our inspired thought. So this kind of all goes hand in hand, but let me explain. So with divine timing, it's really hard, I know, because I go through this as well. This is something I have to remind myself of. But a lot of things that happen in our life, it can be really hard, right? Because a lot of the times as humans, we've been conditioned to have a timeline. So, and we've also been conditioned to run by time, right? While time is an illusion, time's not real. It's a measured thing that we've made into the system, but ultimately there's no such thing as time. So by having this kind of conditioning of time, right, we expect things to happen within a certain window. And if they don't, that means they're never coming, or, and then we kind of just give up, right? And we give up on that. And then we stop focusing on like actually feeling good, right? Instead, we're trying to control time, which you cannot do. And all you can do is control your own energy, right? And the universe responds to that. So one thing with divine timing, right, is it's really hard for us to accept when like something's not going really good or something didn't turn out. It's really easy to kind of be in a place of like, well, this doesn't work, or or like I don't deserve it, or whatever it is. And this is normal, like, know that I go through it as well. It happens. It's our human nature. Oh, my coffee is so good. Side note, my uncle, he roasts his own coffee beans, and he sent my cousin with a bag the last time she came a few weeks ago, and this gets to be my week of coffee, and I'm so excited because it's like his beans are truly my favorite. And not only that, I like know who they're made by, right, and sourced from. So it's like, it's really awesome. But anyways, so coffee's delicious. Thanks, Uncle Carlos. But yeah, so with divine timing, it's really hard to surrender, right, and to accept and be like, hey, I'm here right now. Like, what can I do? about my energy right now? Instead of giving up, what can I do to just make sure that I'm happy and that I'm grounded and feeling good? And one thing that I've realized is that we do tend to, we lose trust in ourselves, right? And one thing I really want to say is like, we have to remember, and this is like the importance, I think, of meditation or having your routine to ground you each day, is we have to remember that we are the universe. Like everything that makes up this huge planet Earth, and the trees and everything we're looking at, the space we're floating in, the galaxy we're in, the universe that galaxy is in, like it's crazy, right? Like this is a miracle to be here and to be part of this. So we have to remember just how powerful we are. Like we're made of all of that. That is who we are. So to kind of take that power from ourselves is super just, it's hindering, and it's not going to get us to the places we want to go. So, which also you're always where you're supposed to be, but that's for another day. But I mean, no, that ties in, I guess. But, you're right where you're supposed to be right now. And the biggest thing is just making sure that you're centered, that you understand that you have power, and that you also understand that you have complete choice in like how you want to feel about something and feel about yourself. And this is why I have to meditate every day. Me personally, I have to, because I have a really creative mind. So like I'm constantly writing in my head, right? Constantly thinking. I think a lot. And meditation for me helps me understand, to get regrounded, helps me understand remember the universe that I am. And it also helps me tap into my choices. So if I wake up and I'm not in a great place, I know that I can sit in meditation, and by the end of it, I can be choosing to feel happy. I can be choosing to feel grateful. And I can be choosing to think about the things that nurture me and make me happy, right? Rather than all the things that aren't going right. Because that also in itself is a condition. There is no right and wrong, no good and bad, success or not success. It's like, it's all an idea that we have instilled in each other over the course of our human history. So just remember that. And I know that's really hard, but like really meditate on that and understand that. And I promise you guys, like, relief comes quicker when you're in a bad place. Relief and answers and just the things that unfold that are going to help you move forward are going to come a lot quicker when we, get regrounded each day. So there's that. But divine timing. So that is one thing, is like learning how to trust that. And like, how do we learn to trust that? We learn to trust it by seeing the synchronicities that are showing up in our life. So for me personally, I used to, like, we call them coincidences, right? A lot of the time when some amazing things happen, we're like, there's no way. Like, that's just a coincidence. Like, it just happened to work out that way, right? And instead we totally, like, we're not giving ourselves the power in that way. We're totally taking the power away from our own selves, right? Because instead of seeing a positive about it, we're kind of just like, no, that's not a miracle. That's just like, it just happened to happen that way. I just got lucky, right? But really, like, the universe knows what you want deep within, and it knows the growth that you're wanting, and it sees the fears that you have as well, and it reflects those things back to you. So I think being aware of that is like super important. But the synchronicities, I'm going to give you an example. I feel like this is actually of divine timing or synchronicity. I have a couple actually, but we'll say for yesterday, right? So this is a great example actually. Yesterday, me and one of my best friends, Olivia, who I've known for about 9 years now. It's amazing. And we've been really working on our friendship and growing it like spiritually. And this is amazing, right? Because like we have known each other for so long. She's one of the first friends I met in Seattle. So we grew up kind of, partying together originally, but she's always meant so much to me, has always been a soulmate of mine in this life. And her and I we've changed a lot over the years. We've evolved, we've expanded, we've awakened. Like, we've come to these really huge shifts in our lives. And for us, we've always had this connection, have always been able to talk about really outlandish things, right? And have always held that space. And now that we're older, right, and we're going through more things and expanding more, we've made the choice to like really be there for each other on this journey, and to really keep each other accountable, and to go do things that we really love to do, and that's be with Earth, right? So we're doing this thing now where we're having little meetups, and we'll go for we'll do a hike or like a little adventure outside, and we just talk, like we catch up, we talk about our spiritual path, we share things. Like, I was telling her all about Abraham Hicks, who's coming to Bellevue in July, you guys. Like, I have to go. That's another story. But anyways, so it's like we're really growing that spiritually. And it's funny because yesterday, so we had this morning plan. She was going to come over at 10. We were going to carpool to Discovery Park and go on this big hike because I wanted to take her to the beach area and show her that. And so we planned 10, right? So she texts me around like 9:40 or something, which is the time right now. Very odd. That's a synchronicity. And she, it was really funny because she like texted me, she's like, I'm going to be late, love. And I was like, no worries. Cause I'm always late. Like, if you know me, I'm getting a lot better, you guys, but I'm always like 10 minutes late. So to most things. And that's also part of my believing that time is an illusion thing. Like, I don't stress, and not that I'm like, I shouldn't say I'm always 10 minutes late, because that sounds bad. Like, for my jobs, 15 minutes early. For, but I think I just run late, okay? Like, I get in the car and I turn the music on. I'm just, my head's in the clouds a lot, okay? But anyways, so I'm never one to judge. Like, when someone's running late, I'm like, that's cool. Like, everything's gonna work out. And that's the thing too, is like, if you're frustrated that someone's late, for one, you're not trusting divine timing, right? And two, you're bringing negative energy. So I just am like, okay, cool, fine. Like, I don't know, I'm always late, girl. Like, it's good. And I was like, what time do you think you'll be here? And she was like, like 10:20. And I was like, perfect. Because I had just realized, that morning I'd posted, the blog on the smoothie yesterday, and on the smoothie recipe. And I was going to post it I was going to write on my computer, like do it that way. And I realized I don't have my laptop charger, my Chromebook charger. And I was like, what in the world? Where is this thing? And I was like, oh no. I like looked all over the apartment. I was like, where? And I was like, uh-oh. I guarantee I forgot that charger at the coffee shop I was working at the other day. So I called them up, and the lady's like, we have a charger. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I guarantee it's probably mine. But I was like, I'll go check it out and go see. So then I text Olivia, and I was like, that's perfect, because I'm going to go run to this coffee shop, get my charger, and then come back, just so I have it. Like, I just didn't want it to get thrown away or whatever. And I was like, so this worked out perfectly, right? So then I decided before I left, I was like, you know what? Because this coffee shop is only like 10 minutes from my place. But I was like, I'm going to take my two reusable cups, and I'm going to go treat me and Olivia to coffee, because we were planning on getting coffee before we went on our hike. But I was like, this is a cool thing, because I love surprising people, and like, I love doing things for people. It's just who I am. I like to give. But so I was like, that'll be cute. I was like, I'll get us coffee while we're there, because not only do they have, this is Grumpy D's in Seattle, by the way, not only do they have like the best espresso, but they have hemp milk, and hemp milk lattes are my thing right now. So I was like, I'm gonna get us both hemp milk lattes. She'll love. So it worked out perfect. Literally, you guys, I get there. As I'm there, she sends me a picture. She's at a stop, and like saw this van that was just like decked out in peace and joy, and like she just was like, this is you. Like, I swear, she's like, I feel like I've seen you before I've seen you. And it was so cute, because I value those friends, that like get me, and that are like aware of those signs as well, and those synchronicities. So she texted me that. But anyways, I like end up getting our lattes. That was indeed my charger. I head home. I get there. 2 minutes later, she shows up at the door. what is that timing, you guys? Like, had she not been 20 minutes late, but yeah. So like my whole thing, like I wasn't worried about the charger. The charger was in fact the right one. Like, now I have it, and I didn't have to worry about that for the rest of the day. I got that worry out of my head. But I just trusted. And that's the thing, when we don't immediately react and we just sit and we're like, whoa, like you just kind of, the universe in itself unfolds. Anyway, so I was like telling her this story. I was like, it's so cool. Like, not that I would have gotten mad anyway that she was late, but it's like these little timings are everything. And so then of course we loved our lattes, went for the hike. That the day in general, I think of that divine timing too, because all the things that we saw, we wouldn't have seen had we been there 20 minutes earlier. Like that, that's insane, right? To think about. But we saw, the hike was amazing. Like the talks were great. Like we had the best talks. The views, obviously gorgeous. But we saw so many awesome things. Like we saw a couple seals actually. A heron, which is like Olivia's favorite. I think one of her spirit animals, I was saying, is a heron, but there's a heron out there. And that was really cool. We sat for like an hour and just kind of took it all in and like talked about earth and life. And then just the hike. I mean, we were out there for like 3 hours, I think, but, and then what else did we see? Oh yeah. And then we saw a seagull, like, eating a clam, like dropping the clam on the rocks, like saw that whole process, like just saw nature happening. We saw a woodpecker in a tree, like building its home. She found this little seashell, we're like looking at it, and there's a little spider that had built its web, like its home in there. And it was just like all these amazing things that were just reminding us of like how amazing life is, right? And it was just such a rewarding, beautiful day. And we were just both in a state of gratitude, like truly. And that's timing. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to really pay attention to those synchronicities and how they unfold. And yeah, so it was really, really cool. And then we ended the day with a really awesome meditation and just a nice like reflection of the day and like of where we're at in life. And it was awesome. And so, yeah, that's divine timing. That's what I'm talking about. And it's like, how do we know we're on the right path? Because we really open our eyes and we look up at the sky and we look up at what's going on around us. And I'm sure you've been through this, or you've heard this from someone else. There's so many people that have like missed being right in accidents or like really tragic circumstances that they just happen to miss by a few minutes. They're always like, if I wasn't running late, or if I wasn't early, whatever that timing was, like it was all meant to be, right? So it's just so important to see that. And yeah, and like also, now this can tie into like the inspired action and thought I was talking about, is like when we trust that, we better trust ourselves. So then when we understand that everything is kind of divine in its own way, we're able to trust ourselves, right? Like I personally have learned to follow my inspired action. So when I'm inspired to do something, I just do it. I'm not trying to sit so much and think about it, because regardless, everything's divine. So you can't really get it wrong here. I'm here to tell you guys that, okay? Like you're not here to have certain things figured out. You're here to experience, and you're no matter where you end up, you're there you are. Like that's what it is. You're present in that, you're nature, and you're happening. And it's like a seagull, right, that was dropping the clam on the rock. I mean, there's nothing, it's not sitting there thinking about like, am I in the right place at the right time? Am I like, is this the right thing to be doing? Is this the right clam? Like, no, it's in a state of its own nature, right? It's just happening. Also, seagulls are one of my favorite animals in this entire world. We'll have a talk about spirit animals one day. That'd be actually a fun one to do with Olivia. But like it's like we've been blessed with our brains and our conscience. And I think everything essentially has a conscience. That's another talk for another day as well. But, we've been so blessed with our brains and our stories and our awareness as human beings, and our creative energy. Like, our creative gift is so awesome. But it also can be very tough, right? Because it's been open to be conditioned, and it has been. It's just the human world. So I know how hard that is. But I think when we really tap into the fact that we are nature, and like I said, this is the importance of going outside, we are able to just trust ourselves. We just trust ourselves more. And I don't have this down, completely. Like, I'm learning this. This is my spiritual journey. This is what I'm learning on my spiritual path. But when we connect with our nature every day, like I said, meditation, when you're inspired to do something, you're no longer sitting there like, oh, I want to do it, but I don't think I should. Like, I think, like, instead I'll just like hang out at home. It's like, no, you feel called to go to the park, just go. Like, don't think about it, just do it. And your intuition as well. Also know when something is wrong, right? When you're like doing something for the sake of filling a void, which I guess an example of this would be like in the past when I used to cope with things with like going out to a bar or whatever. I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go take myself out for a beer because I just I don't want to think about this right now. That's I wouldn't say that's so much inspired by your higher self. That's more inspired by your ego, right? Because you're needing to fill your time with something. You're wanting to forget something. You're wanting to turn to something that's maybe not super great for your health or your mind or body, your mind, body, or spirit. So, I've learned to kind of navigate through that. So when I'm inspired to do something really good that I know is going to be good for me, I'm able to do that. Or, with my blog, that was an inspired thought, right? I just got tired of kind of thinking about starting it, and I just did it. And by doing that each time, and when I'm inspired to do a podcast or inspired to write about something or talk about something, I just do it because it all works out in the end anyway. So, but that's the thing, is when we trust that everything is divine, we trust ourselves. And when we're inspired, we trust it. So that's inspired thought and inspired action. And even sometimes when we do choose the wrong thing, and I've done this as well, when I chose something that didn't feed me in the right way, and actually nothing should feed you, but that didn't resonate with my higher self, I learned, you guys. I mean, that's what it is. But I'm willing to learn these days, that's another thing. But I realized I was like, oh, okay, that's not going to help me. So what did I do from that? I learned, right? And I actually recently, I stopped drinking alcohol. And it's not that I had an issue with it or drink a lot. I very rarely. But the times that I was doing it, I just didn't feel good. I just didn't like it anymore. And so I was like, how about I just stop doing this completely? And that's awesome, right? And I had to learn that the hard way, right? By making, I don't know if you heard Penny swearing, but I learned by a really tough situation that I put myself in by drinking. And that was the last time I was like, all right, I'm done with that. That doesn't bring the best out in me. So now I fully know that, and I fully surrender to letting that go. So that is awesome. Either way, everything's divine, and you learn and you grow, and it is your choice, right? To learn and to grow and to put yourself in that good energy and to put yourself in the places that are going to feel really good. And how do we also start that is if you're going through a tough time, the first thing I would recommend is getting up and going somewhere, anywhere, whether it's to a bookstore, which I have to share that story with you guys another time. I just don't want this to be too long. But that's another thing is just put yourself out into the world. Go where there are people. Go where there's solitude is very important. You need to learn to be alone. That is a big thing. You got to learn to be happy on your own and in your solitude. But also it's really good to be interacting with people each day, whether it's going to get a coffee and only having that one conversation with the barista that day. That's enough, but just have some sort of interaction each day. I feel like that is huge. And healing ourselves as well. And people are the universe. Like they're God, right? They're the universe, they're spirit. They're there to teach you things as well, and to, deliver messages to you and deliver those synchronicities. So really, understand that. And where they are at is their divine timing. So when you meet people, it's divine. Like that's a very sacred thing. So just get out, follow your inspiration, follow what feels good. And the more you do that, I promise you guys, the more you practice that, the more you start giving into the things that feel really, really, really good all the time. And the more you're able to let go, right, of the things that don't feel good, that you feel inspired, that you feel pulled to do. I shouldn't say inspired, but that you feel pulled to do. And instead, you let yourself follow your true inspiration, your true self, your higher self, the energy that you are, the universe that you are. And it's awesome. And life, truly, you guys, it unfolds from there. So you just have to trust. I think more than anything, trust that it is divine. And I'm with you. I'm with you on this journey. I go through it too. I have trouble like trusting the universe. Okay, like I said it, but in essence, right? It's me not being able to trust myself either, and that's why I reground each day and I practice that. I have to make that conscious choice each day when I wake up, and I make that conscious choice to have gratitude. It's tough. Like I get it. I totally get it. But one thing I do know is that you absolutely are going to do it, and you're absolutely going to be totally okay. And everything is going to work out, I promise, in life, as it should. But I believe in the world. I believe in humanity. And there's always people that are going to question that. And I have people tell me that all the time. They're like, you're crazy, but we're doomed. But I don't choose that thought. Like, that's fine if people want to choose that. I choose to believe in humanity. I choose to believe that we are going to tap into what it is that we deserve and what we can do as a collective for the earth, for the planet, for humanity, for all of creation. I believe in a peaceful world. I choose that. And that is my choice, right? That's my power that I give to myself. And I'm able to give that to the world as well. And I'm able to see how that radiates to my loved ones, and just see how that flourishes in my relationships, in my friendships, everything. And so, all of that, my family relationships, all of it, it's so huge. And I believe in us as a collective. I really, really do. And I think that we all deserve, this is what I'm going to leave you with. We all deserve to be happy. We didn't come to this world to suffer for the rest of our lives. Do we go through suffering? Of course. Like, it's meant to teach us. That's what helps us grow, right? None of us ever learned the best things from being super happy. We learned that, being happy generates more happiness, but we didn't. Some of the toughest things are the rock bottoms in life are the things that made us go and seek help, right? Or seek answers. So that's meant to happen in our lives for sure. But we were meant, once we kind of learn, it's learn from these things. Now we can take that as an expansion and learn that we do deserve to be happy. We deserve to be wealthy. We deserve to be healthy. We deserve to be abundant. We deserve to have strong friendships, creative fulfillment, good health, adventure, travel, whatever that is to us. Even maybe some of us want different things. The things that feel good, we're meant to have that. Each and every one of us. That's the thing. Regardless of where we are at in the world, regardless of what we've done or who we've been, we're deserving of moving forward in our life. And the first step is to really, truly accept that where we are at right now is where we are at. And from this moment forward, we have a choice. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I think it was another good one. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like my highest right now. So thank you, my highest self. So thank you for listening. If you guys have any questions and you want to message me more about inspired action or divine timing, or you're having a tough time, let me know. Like, I'm always happy to recommend things. Always happy to recommend videos or books or anything that can help, or, meditative practices that can help us kind of get out of those places. But this is only the beginning, you guys. I'm so excited to just be expanding on this blog and to have a community with all of you. It means more than you could ever imagine. To me, it makes me realize we're on a good path and we're on our way there. And it starts within, right? It's like what I say. We are the earth source beings. Eternal peace begins within. So I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week. I'll see you in 1 week from today, right? Or I'll talk to you, I guess, in 1 week from today. But yeah, check out the smoothie recipe I posted yesterday. It was super awesome. It's a really great circulation smoothie and also very tasty, nice little sweet treat if you're craving something sweet, or sweeter, I should say. And yeah, and I'll be out with some positive blogs this week as well, so keep an eye out. But I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Jai Ma, namaste, love and light.